So it's been a while since we did one of these?
Yeah. Um, I forget. Yeah, this is a game with a bunch of with a filter on it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the HD re-release that has filters on it. But this is one of the few CPS3 games that they made. And they made good use with game's technology. I mean, the board's technology.
This oh yeah, yeah. There were like 7 games, CPS3 or some shit.
It was all 3 versions of Street Fighter 3, Red Earth, Jojo's Venture, and then Heritage for the Future, which was the updated version, which everybody plays. So there's only like 6.
Half of them were Street Fighter 3.
I mean, it makes sense from like a business perspective because it was like really expensive to make games for the CPS3.
But I like this game a lot. I don't have a lot of nice things to say about its balance, but it is incredibly fun to play.
Yeah, like when you like get to like the competitive side of things, it becomes gross. But if you're just like enjoying it casually, I think it's a good time because it's like, I guess like the closest thing that you could call the best JoJo fighting game, and even then, it's just like me kind of sweeping under the rug Pet Shop and Kakyoin being banned.
Oh, was Kakyoin banned too? Jeez, I remember Pet
Yeah,
Shop is.
normal Kakyoin. Kakyoin is like, he's too good with everything. And speaking of Kaki Onion, here he is now.
The like modern font with the old sprites. It's oh god. This game had a pretty decent PS1 port.
Yeah, the PlayStation 1 port actually had a whole new story mode, which like covered everything in Part 3. Like, everything.
Yeah, there was fights with like there was the lovers. I think it was something with Enya.
Gray Fly was there too.
Oh right. But yeah, no, this game it's got a neat system where you have like a stand meter. So like while you have your stand out, like I think blocking an attack causes it to go down, and if it goes all the way down,
cause down.
yeah,
Yeah.
if it goes all the way down, you get like a guard break kind of state. So you have to like kind of equip and unequip your stand, so to speak.
And I know that certain stands do different things. Like, some of them you could like yeah, like some stands you could like summon a set distance ahead of you, and you could like remote control them that way. Kind of like what they did a few times in the manga.
There's obviously a puppet character, which is like a literal puppet. In
Yeah.
Devo. It's just a really fun game. Like they get really creative with all the different movesets. It does have a few unfortunate side effects of being an old Capcom fighter, namely things like the balance, where they have Pet
Yeah.
Shop, and they have 720s, or a 720 at least.
Yeah, that belonged to old Joseph somehow?
Yeah, his moveset is weird, but
Oh, and we completely skipped Gray Fly because his sprites weren't ready yet.
oh, what's
And-
up? We went straight here.
Yeah, like, most of the arcade modes, like, try to follow the manga as closely as possible, but, you know, of course there's gonna be deviations like Jotaro fighting Devo, or Debo. There are also, you know, a few other arcade mode scenarios where you follow, like, one of the villains. Like, what if Dio just killed everybody?
This stand power doesn't really make a lot of sense. I never really think about it, but it's just
What,
like...
Devo's?
Yeah, it's just like... If you piss me off, I'll possess a doll and have it attack you. It's like...
I mean, I guess it makes more context within Jojo itself, the manga, other than, like, here. Well, here they're just like, we really wanted to make a literal puppet character in our fighting game.
No, I mean, like, in the actual manga. Like, Part 3 is kind of silly in that way, where a lot of stands are just like, well, we're just introducing this concept, so we don't have a really... We have to establish, like, what it does, and a lot of times, like, a lot of things just kind of get put by the wayside.
Also, fuck all of India, apparently?
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah,
we're going
Part
through this
3
fast.
was, you know... Yeah, Part 3 did introduce stands, so they're just, like, figuring things out before they could, like, get to the weird shit. Like, Part 4 had some weird stands. Actually, every part has its own weird, fucked up stand. Like, fucking Boy 2 Man. And then Part 8 is literally just like, what's the worst way that you could die?
Hi, buddy.
Two things, one, this is reminding me of that, American Jojo ripoff Diesel, and I'm thinking about how funny it is that, End Duel was supposed to be playable somehow in this game.
Yeah, the sprites here are really nice, by the way. This game just looks really good.
Yeah, Capcom artists did a really good job, doing these characters justice. But yeah, there's also something else that's, pretty fucked up on this, section. I think if you, like, hang around, like, the beginning part, you could see, like, Geb, like, rip off the arm of one of the Speedwagon, employees and rip it off.
Oh, yeah. Attacks the watch.
Yeah. I really like nods like this. It's really cool. I guess that's why people really like All-Star Battle and Eyes of Heaven, because it's chock full of like little nods, references, and fan service.
I mean, we'll get to it, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, not saying that this game like doesn't do it, because it definitely does.
I would
Like,
say that
fucking...
this game doesn't compromise itself to make fan service references.
Yeah. Fucking... They got a Silver Chariot Requiem in one of Polnareff's supers, even though that, like... I don't think that super, like, has a use.
Yeah, it's entirely as an Easter egg. It also it fucks me up, because I'm like... I keep thinking that this game was made around the time that Part 3 was, like, brand new. It's like, no, well, Part 5 was apparently ending when they were making this.
Yeah!
Or had ended.
Yeah, because I remember that Stone Ocean like started early 2000s, and then SBR lasted until 2011, and Jojolian like ended like this or last year.
Yeesh. A little history. Saber showed me some Mugen conversions of some JoJo's characters, I think, specifically, Whole Horse. Because he was really into the concept of the Hanged Man. He was like, this is the coolest thing ever, and he just kept explaining it to me, and was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I agreed with him, so I got into JoJo's because of it.
That's a neat way to get into JoJo's. I got into it because of the fucking road roller memes.
It was really funny how, like, I remember there was a point where I was one of the few people who knew what the fuck that was. Because that was, like, a thing where that was kind of popular because of the game. And, like, in general, JoJo's was, like... It's weird to think about it now, because it used to be a thing that no one really knew about. Aside from, like, people who had seen this game, which is not many people.
And now it's kind of a cultural phenomenon in Japan and overseas.
I should clarify, I think it was always popular in Japan, just it wasn't ever popular in the West.
Oh, what an anime adaptation will do to a series.
Another one, yeah. No one remembers the old OVAs, although, like that one half they made from... That weird one they made where it was, like, it started in the desert, like the Geb fight, and then ended with, actual end of Part 3. That OVA was, like, pretty damn good.
Was it
And
the one where like everybody was like really chunky looking?
it might have been, yeah. I remember, I think that was from the 80s, like late 80s.
That one actually started normally, I think, but then it just like kind of flew straight into, you know, Geb. I remember Polnareff being on the strength boat. The strength was also there.
No, they made that in, after the fact. That was like a decade later. They made, like, the rest of Part 3 so that the OVA could be a quote-unquote complete. It's fucking weird. Like, they went
I'm gonna
back...
have to look into that later.
Yeah, it's... They went back and then filled in the gaps because they were animating the part with Geb all the way to the end because, like, that was relevant at the time. Because it's like, old.
So, yeah, we beat up Alessi. The less said about him, the better.
Out of all the fights, we get one with Alessi.
I mean, they made him into a character, so why not?
Guess someone's gotta fight him. Check out what I'm doing with my hand.
It is really nice how well the Araki art translates into Capcom sprite style.
I think it's funny that, like, these color schemes are, as far as I know, just kind of made up, and then sometimes they stick around and then sometimes they don't.
Yeah, I know that Araki said, or at least like it's just kind of an unwritten rule that JoJo characters just don't have set in stone color schemes.
Which is fair.
Yeah. I will say this, Anime Jotaro's color scheme sucks.
It's fine. It's not as exciting as this, but
yeah,
this
that's
one's pretty
like
memorable.
one of my big gripes with Part 3 is just that the anime's color scheme is a little bit drab.
Yeah, it is.
Here's Vanilla Ice. I think he's quite nice.
Game's got some good music too. It's very
yeah.
arcadey, but it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, his name was fucking Iced.
Yeah, and then they changed it again for the next game.
Ice. Yeah, because, you know, Vanilla Ice, Cream.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out before we get too much farther to Midler, who is a character that just was invisible. So they're like, hey, we want to make her playable? And I didn't know until yesterday, I think, that she was apparently playable in the first version of this game, and Mariah wasn't.
Weird.
I don't... maybe that's... Oh my god.
Yeah. Reduced to a pile of asses.
Sup?
It could be upstairs.
Alright then. I don't think it's how this this transpired.
We could mourn for their death later, but for now...
I think someone made Nukasaku for, Saki? That guy.
And Nukisaku.
Yeah. They made that guy from Mugen at some point. Because they made a bunch of shit from Mugen, because Mugen is hilarious.
I mean, he had some sprites, because he's like Dio's Alessi curse form.
Oh, that's right, yeah. That was the really funny thing where they have Alessi, who has a stand power that makes people younger, and then for, like, the main characters, it does that, including Joseph, where he becomes Part 2 Joseph. But then,
yeah,
like,
that's pretty great.
But then, like, everyone else, it's just weird-ass references. Like, a majority of the cast just turns into weird Easter eggs.
Like Khan just turns into, like, the like, giant, like, bull that gets stabbed with Anubis at one point.
Yeah, he just turns to a cow.
Yeah.
I think Mariah becomes an old lady.
I know that young Joseph like turns into Joseph in one of the flashbacks in Battle Tendency, where he suffers one of 4 plane crashes throughout his entire life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Jacket Dio. Which is like a weird thing because this isn't actually a playable version.
Yeah, although like people, you know, probably like play him in Mugen a lot, not realizing that he was supposed to be unplayable, but like he really doesn't have any differences. It's just cosmetic.
This is a shame because this look is great.
I am actually kind of fond of his other look, but yeah, I'm not gonna deny that it's not iconic. Blood.
Blah blah blah.
No, that's fresh Joestar blood. Psycho di hai teatsuta!
Set round 2.
Yep. I mean, the rounds were set to like 1 round, I guess, just to get through this quicker, but, you know, they like kind of had to fit this fight in.
I like some of the, like, kind of edits and recolors they do for bonus characters where it's like, like Shadow Dio, where it's just
Shadow Dio's really nice.
Dio, but before they actually, like, showed his face. So it's just a bunch of other references to, like, earlier stuff.
And part 1, too.
You got Space Ripper Stingy Eyes.
He also has Space Ripper Stingy Eyes in this mode, except it's like a different input.
It's like a completely
Like
different move, almost.
Yeah, it's some Shungoku Satsu bullshit. Let's see if this is censored or not. Okay, no, it's not censored. Inspiration for Terry and Battle Craze, everybody.
It's true.
They had to skip the part where fucking Jotaro asks Joseph some questions after he got pranked.
They skipped the Weird Al reference, sadly.
Yeah.
Kakuin's dead, by the way.
Yeah, he got punched into a water tower. It's like in every country song.
They don't even really explain that in this story. It's just, by the way, he's dead. Okay.
I just remember in Kakyoin's ending in this game, after he beats Dio, he just closes his eyes on the airplane and then just dies. See you later in part 5.
This game's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a nice game. It's a very nice game.
What the hell?
Aw, I wanted the credits! Come on! I should get to enjoy all these nice portraits.
I can enjoy a bird yelling at me.
Oh yeah, fucking Midler's art in this game was just traced off of that one character from part 4.
Kaku or something like that. That
Yeah.
lady sucks.
Thanks, Speedwagon.
Thank you.
So, yeah, this is All-Star Battle. And you will notice that there is a lot more variety when it comes to like what arcs are represented. It's not just constricted to part 3.
In that it is all arcs.
Yeah, even when Jojolian wasn't even finished.
Yeah, they had just started it, so they got the main character and they didn't have almost anything to work with. I bought this game twice.
You bought it? Oh no.
I bought it whenever it was like, oh, we're probably not going to get this in English, and then we got it in English, so I bought it again, and basically mixed reactions to what I've heard about this game, but I'll just go with what I know. I think this game is bad.
Yeah, that's understandable. Like,
it is
this game...
extremely fan service based, and it's like fan service that is done in an incredibly well way, where like if you enjoy Jojo in any capacity, you're going to have a lot of things that are going to be amusing to see, but as an actual game to play, it is very bad.
Yeah, this was made by CyberConnect 2, who made all of those like other arena fighter games for like Naruto and stuff. This was their first attempt at trying to make like a more traditional fighting game, but it still really didn't have a good understanding of like stuff that made those good.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where I definitely thought I was going to like it, because it is not like other like licensed games where it's just, you know, it's always like an arena fighter where it's just kind of like whatever. Whereas this one actually tries to be like an actual fighting game. And
it fumbles a lot.
yeah, it's two main things. It's really slow, and it's really basic. Like, there's a lot of small problems with this game, but the main things are just like, the game is just paced like garbage, and every character kind of plays the same, because there's no like archetypes or attempts to like have variety in the way they play, other than just trying to turn stand powers into like gimmicks.
Yeah. It's really interesting to read that one of the new updates that the re-release of this game is going to have is hit stop. That's really interesting to read.
I thought that wasn't a problem in this game, but
I don't know. Until it was brought up like today, I didn't realize that until like now, and it kind of makes a little bit of sense. Because, like, hits just feel slow. But then again, I've only tried this game, like, once in community college a few years ago, while the game was being projected onto a binder.
Me and Melly played it a number of times, actually, like, online. It's bland. Like, it's slow and it's bland. There's some neat ideas, but it just... I don't know, my memory is that there's one character who is DLC who has a command throw. Like, yeah, there's like almost no, like, interesting things in this game. It's just projectiles and... yeah.
Whatever that was.
Yeah, slow-ass rekkas, stuff like that. The weird-ass, like, side dodge mechanic, the way the stages have, like, hazards that I don't think you can disable and are shaped in a weird way.
I think you could actually disable stage hazards. Oh yeah, there's also this extremely weird thing where, like, in order to play as vampire characters in the Filler Men on stages in daylight, you have to, like, get a thing and equip it to them, which is kind of bullshit.
I think that was just, like, a weird single-player thing, because I think in versus mode, like, it'll just limit the number of stages you can play on, and I guess that doesn't matter, considering the stages are different in that Tekken sort of way.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember really wanting to get this game when it was like new and when I was like really young. Actually, this game was like kind of a gateway for me into the other parts of JoJo because I think I was just really familiar with part 3 and like
Uh,
nothing else.
it's funny how these games will end up doing that to you.
I think that's actually pretty neat, like how Smash Brothers introduced so many different people into like obscure shit like Earthbound. Well, not in your case.
I the taunt system. What? I have no idea.
Oh, I guess you just have a wall bounce kick like you're some fucking Mugen character.
It was some Waku Waku 7 looking shit.
But yeah, the taunting.
Yeah, it... Oh, Jesus.
Don't do this point blank! Oh!
Jesus Christ.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it has weird gimmicky stuff like that, and like... Giorno has that for Gold Experience Requiem, and it's like... You're not gonna get that off, ever.
Yeah. Like, it actually makes more sense in Eyes of Heaven because you could just hide while your partner fights for you.
Oh yeah, but like, yeah, if you knock an opponent down and then press the taunt button, I think... Yeah, this happens, and like, it drains the opponent's meter by like a tiny-ass amount. As far as I remember.
Yeah. It's weirdly like Art of Fighting in that way, but Art of Fighting, regardless of what you have to say about the game itself, it doesn't slow down the pace of the game.
Yeah, this just stops the game dead every time you do it. And the thing is, like, every combo in the game, like, if you've ever played a game where you have, like, an auto-combo... Oh my god. You have an auto-combo where you just, like, mash the light punch button or whatever, and it does, like, a few normals into a special, into a super, then knocks down. Like, that's what every combo in this game feels like, aside from some weird busted shit. Like Diavolo being able to just, like, H&K bounce somebody around like fucking basketball.
Yeah, I think that was actually patched up. That's the funny to think about.
Yeah,
where's that ARPA art where he like threw him and like Spy Dama saying let's go infinite some people together?
I like Okuyasu a lot, which is a shame because he doesn't get to do fucking anything.
I thought you hated that guy. Huh.
Okuyasu? No, I think he's really cool. I hate how, like, he doesn't get to do fucking anything because Part 4 is garbage, but, yeah.
I didn't know that. I just kind of assumed that you hated him because he's a Part 4 character and he's kind of...
I like him, but I hate Part 4 because of how it uses him, among other things.
That's a fair criticism. That's a fair criticism.
Like, I like a lot of things in Part 4, but then it's just a lot of meandering. It doesn't lead to anything. It's like the fucking, the Surface guy. Surface? The one with the wooden doll?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, he's pretty cool, and then he suddenly becomes half his height and changes personality entirely. And it's like, okay, why did you do that?
It's really weird.
Why is Rohan just completely shit?
Okay, the only funny thing that happens to Rohan is when he cut off his own finger, his house burned down, and when he got decked in the face by Yosuke because he was so angry. Like, literally, the only way that he got around Heaven's Door ability was just because he was so furious.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty great. I liked, he let his house burn down because he was losing in a game of fucking dice to Slash from Waku Waku 7.
Hey, there's Mario! Oh, he was voiced by Mario in the OVA.
Oh yeah.
So, what can we say about Polnareff? He's Polnareff.
I mean, there's very few characters in this game that I don't like, just like from a anime standpoint. It's pretty much Fatty.
Shigechi.
Yeah.
Still sucks what happened with part 4. Can we talk about other parts? I keep thinking that we keep tracking back to part 4 for some reason.
I was trying to think of other characters in this game that I don't like, and I just kind of came to... I was like, actually, I've never cared about cars that much, actually.
Well, you're planning on watching parts 1 and 2 again, so,
Yeah, we'll see. He's just kind of there.
I guess when you have, like, so many other characters introduced after the fact, he just kind of pales in comparison in some regards.
There's a number of characters before Part 3 where they just kind of exist. Like Wham and, Jonathan. Like, they're just there because,
Carcass and Bruford.
Everything used to be a lot more simple, and then Stans got introduced and the series got even more silly.
I still do think that parts 1 and 2 had their moments. It just,
Oh no, I like them, but I especially
Stans
like
kind
them.
of are a real defining feature in JoJo.
I like them a lot more after the anime, actually, because I feel like they really ironed out some of the weirdness and then made it, like, really flashy and kind of cool.
Yeah, they definitely had to update that really early Iraqi art style.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see it that way.
Oh yeah, we get to listen to bootleg Rolling Stones.
I should mention, I don't know if I have mentioned it yet, this game has a really good soundtrack. I really like...
A lot of bangers.
I really like this track. I don't know if we've heard any of my favorite tracks yet, but this is one of them. It's pretty good.
Yeah, they like take a lot of cues from like the musical inspirations.
I actually have no idea what any of the tracks in this game are called because, again, at some point this game was Japanese only and all the names are just kind of fan translated. I don't know if they ever got official translations.
I think they did, but they're kind of similar because they're just translations.
Yeah. It's just kind of funny how, like, romanization can be, like, up in the air,
Yeah. So yeah, here's Bruno. I actually don't remember too much about part 5. I need to watch the anime, since it's on Netflix. But I have 2 other whole parts to get through first.
Here's Bruno, he's dead.
He eats the pizza, he licks the sweat, and he dies. And it's really entertaining to know that Sticky Fingers' ability was just based off of an album cover. Got a zipper on it.
Oh yeah, it's pretty silly. Man, there sure are a lot of JoJo's poses going on in this game. It's weird.
Yeah. It's like it's a JoJo game or something.
Is this a JoJo's reference?
No, this is obviously a reference to Ultimate Weapon Bao, don't you know? See, he's got the arm blades. Bao arm phenomenon.
These characters have a style to them. I don't know if I could describe it any other way other than a JoJo style.
It is nice that Bao got into All-Star Battle just as like a nod to Araki's earliest works.
Yeah, that was really, really cool.
And he got cut in Eyes of Heaven, and we're not sure if he's coming back in the re-release of this game?
I would guess so. Given, I mean, it's still just, a Rocky thing.
Yeah, but like, they like had that characters teaser at like the end of that reveal trailer. It was nowhere to be seen.
Who knows?
And apparently, I'm gonna botch this pronunciation. Prosciutto is gonna be playable somehow.
Prosciutto?
Yes, prosciutto.
See? I... It's... It's up in the air whether or not that game's gonna be actually any good, but... They've at least promised a few things that are, you know, nice, like 60 FPS. That's cool.
Yeah! Because, you know, a 30 FPS fighting game, this is actually like one of the few 30 FPS fighting games if you think about it.
Yeah, which is, It's weird because I would have never noticed because I don't notice those sorts of things until I see them, like, back to back, but that is definitely not me saying that they shouldn't be in 60. They should.
Yeah. It just looks a lot better anyways, and it just feels a lot better too.
Well, it's more so about the fact that, like, having 60 frames means you actually have better, like, input reading. Like, that affects your ability to actually, like, do motion controls, or not motion controls, like, command inputs.
Yeah.
Half circles and shit. Like, that's actually a big deal. So, this game being not 60 is, you know, that doesn't do any favors.
Yeah.
It isn't just that it looks worse, it's that it plays worse. Also, this level's on the side of a building, and I kind of forget that sometimes.
Yeah, it looks... this was, part 6.
Yeah, it looks very abstract, and then it's just like, no, it's just on the side of the building, because gravity has shifted.
Yeah, fucking Enrico Gucci. Just being like, I want heaven.
Does he want to see heaven with his eyes?
Maybe? I don't know, there's a whole game about, you know, what if Dio, eat the Joesters.
Oh, I love it, by the way, it shows the name of the move when you use it. Like, Kars's, personal move, Knives from my feet? Frozen Brilliance?
He didn't even say sabers from my feet, that was Joseph. You'll start, picking up on, quotes and stuff, when you watch the anime again.
Oh no, yeah, it's just a ton of just... Everything in this game is a reference. Like, they almost make up nothing. It's ridiculous.
They probably should have made up a few things so that move lists are, like, interesting. They could probably, like, play into the characters' abilities a little bit better.
Yeah, that's the thing that the Capcom game did, where it, like, uses references to, help create a moveset that has, like, an identity that's half similar to the Origins, whereas this game is all about the Origins, which is, like, really cool for fan service, but just not great for a game to play. Because, like, fighting games are very competitive. Like, it's just a matter of fact. Like,
yeah,
you gotta be competitive whenever you're making a fighting game, or you're just going to make something that, like, casual players are not going to get that much out of, because it's still, like, fighting games are not an easy thing to just pick up, but competitive players are also going to not like it because it doesn't have any sort of...
depth.
Yeah. That's the thing that this game lacks. It lacks any depth. It's just... stale.
There actually is a competitive scene for this game, but I really haven't paid attention to it because, like, even when you, like, get to the nitty-gritty of, like, some of the things you could do in this game, it's still slow.
I mean, yeah, it's a Kusoge game.
It's like trying to competitively play Smash Brothers Brawl, if that makes sense. Minus the tripping.
I think it's like any other, like, licensed fighting game. Like, it's just going to be something that, like, you play it for the laughs. Like, you play it because you maybe just really enjoy Jojo, or maybe you just really like silly fighting games that aren't that serious. but you're never gonna. It's never gonna actually mean a lot to like the competitive scene at large, and
Yeah.
it's not gonna mean a whole lot to casual players.
Oh shit, there's Weather Report before he became a character in Eyes of Heaven. You might as well talk a little bit about, actually, no, wait, there's like, I know that you mentioned, fan service and like, there is like a ton of that in parts that we haven't like seen at all. Joseph has like your next line is gonna be taunts.
For every character, like
For every
personalized.
character, Yosuke like has a counter where if you hit him, character like insults his hairstyle and he gets pissed.
My personal favorite is Johnny. Whenever he does that, he just says something like he just very sarcastically goes like, "Yeah, nice hair, super cool," and it pisses him off. And I just fucking love that to death because it's great because that's a play on like two different jokes from two different parts. Where
Yeah.
like Johnny has this thing where he's like very sarcastic with what's his name? Gyro. I forgot his name.
Gyro.
And then also the whole like, you know, Josuke getting pissed off about people insulting his hair because he's an idiot. But like that's that's fun. And like you'll do the same thing with like the Joseph line, like that's a part 2 thing. But like they'll reference lines from whatever they're from.
Yeah.
And it's
I do like the Giorno punch. He has that super where he punches you with gold experience and it's all slow and like everybody has like a little reference to something. Like Polnareff's face like turns into like that part where he tries to like fucking pick his ear with his tongue or something.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think
Nice jog, you loser.
That's another weird thing about the whole taunt mechanic. If you don't taunt at the right time, you're just taunting normally, while the opponent gets up and just beats your ass for taunting. It's so weird.
So yeah, sorry.
I think the win quote is personalizable too. Like there's a bunch of like reference lines, obviously, and then there's like the generic one where they actually can say specific things to certain characters, but I think it's mostly just kind of random.
Yeah, I know that there's this horrible like campaign mode that you have to do to get like cosmetic stuff. It was like an online gacha thing, and if you like miss the window to get an item, eat shit, loser. You're never getting that again.
I just remember it being a lot of tedium. And
I'm at least glad that they like found a workaround in the re-release, so they don't have to like do that shit again.
I also remember this game has a weird sort of like parallel to the voice casting for the anime, because this came out before.
Yeah, it was before the anime.
Yeah, like
Some of the voice actors came back for their roles, while some got replaced.
it was something weird where like Devo in this game, because like there's a bunch of characters who are voiced in like one-player content. Like Devo in this game is voiced by who would go on to voice old Joseph in the anime, I think.
Yeah.
Just like weird stuff like that, where some people just completely changed, and some did retain their roles.
It was like, it's funny because like Poochie in this game was Vanilla Ice's voice from Heritage for the Future, and then what the hell? Anyways, Vanilla Ice, when he was DLC for this game, was voiced by somebody else, but they did the anime and Eyes of Heaven. Poochie reprised his role as Vanilla Ice.
Weird.
And I'm not 100% sure if he kept Poochie's role or not in the anime.
I forgot to mention that Dio was voiced by Jetta.
Yeah.
Isan Chiba. That guy's great. Love that
And
guy.
Shingo from the King of Fighters series.
I think that's the other Dio. That's the one in the anime.
Oh yeah, also Shu from Super Robot Wars, who is a character that only I and T would know. Anyways. Was that a guard break?
Yeah, it was a guard break. I have no idea.
There's guard breaks in this game?
What the fuck?
Yeah, that super causes crumple.
Wow.
They really had to go grasping for straws for this move list. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
His name is Josuke 8, because there's already another Josuke in the game.
Yeah, because it's like, oh yeah, still ball run is, you know,
New universe.
all universe part 1, so part 8 is all universe part 4, because I don't know.
If they couldn't have like called him just like Josuke, like in parentheses part 8, or even Gappy. Gappy would have worked because that was his nickname. Because of his fucking teeth. Can't believe that that guy has 4 testicles.
I think the thing that I'll last say about why this game didn't really turn out that well is that, oh, my score is ABBA. They basically just straight up said, like, we didn't know how to make a proper fighting game, and we don't care. Like, they kind of just, I remember at some point just admitted, like, this game is an attempt to be a real fighting game, but it's just, like, halfway.
Hi, I like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care about Dragon Ball, what the fuck? Why is YouTube auto-playing videos? Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, they did try, and with the re-release, I think they're like considering like giving it another shot. But you know, the other reason is that Jojo fan money.
Yeah, that's now that the, I guess now that the manga is complete and the anime is doing part 6, it's like, oh, hey.
Oh no, there's definitely going to be a part 9. Araki said that he's going to take a break and then start part 9.
I don't think he's going to live long enough to finish that, going by the pace he's been on.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. I don't know. I just like it. It's straight up just one of those things. Like I just know that they didn't want to actually be as competitive as they could be. It was like the opposite of like Melee, where they're like, we're not going to try to make this work. We're just going to just get this game out there. It really is kind of like Brawl. We're just going to get this game out, and it's just going to be as it is. And so the remake, in order for it to actually be any good, would have to completely redesign entire aspects of the main mechanics and like character move lists so that they are more than just 1, 2, 3 special super. And
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. But I guess if people enjoy it, then have fun.
It does make sense why they would then make Eyes of Heaven the way that it is, because they're just like, we tried, you're really not confident, so we might as well just do what we're accustomed to, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Eyes of Heaven is like, that's the kind of game that you really should make. Is just, if you're going to be a fan service game, then just the gameplay is secondary. So don't try to make it. Don't overextend your boundaries in that regard. And I think it'll be a lot better for it, because I think people will people will play just kind of like a simple game that you know how to make well, rather than trying to appeal to an audience that you don't know how to appeal to, and alienating the ones that you do have. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
just it's neat. It's really it's fun. It's fun in the sense that it's just a lot of like cool references and a lot of what if fights that are neat. That's cool. I
I mean,
just
for the most part, like most of my entertainment from like those games in particular is just YouTube compilations of all the references and stuff. Because, I buy the game when I'm probably not gonna like it, but also Eyes of Heaven has like that weird thing where it's like a 2v2 game, but there's no local co-op.
for the record, by the way, I have literally no idea what Eyes of Heaven is. Like,
It is an arena game. It is 2v2. I really don't know much about the mechanics either, but it plays like your average arena fighter for the most part. And it's not really like spectacular outside of, fan service and stuff. Everybody having like unique like team up supers, people having a drink at the Moiro Cafe, a lot of references there. A lot of sped up supers from All Star Battle.
I just think it's a real shame that like Capcom actually tried and created something that is worth remembering, and All Star Battle is just I don't know. You got your
It's
references. Who cares if the game's any good? Come on.
Yeah, it's just like a different way to like ingest the source material. I mean, it did help me like get accustomed to some of the other stuff in JoJo and started kicking me in the pants to get me to read the other parts, even though that I like didn't finish part 7 or 8.
Gates. Yeah, I think that's really all it is that it can be, given the way they treat it. Is just it's just a vehicle for getting you to want to know more about the games. Which again, I did the same thing with the Capcom game, and that game actually was a fighting game. So
Yeah, that's true.
you don't have to do that, but it would be nice if you spent the effort to release a game that you actually tried to make it good. And
Yeah,
that's what I just don't like All Star Battle because of that, because they just straight up didn't care.
yeah,
Well, they didn't care about the thing that's important. I think they cared about selling a licensed game. They didn't care about it actually being worth owning.
yeah. It's like I know everybody is like, oh, Arxis should just make every licensed anime game, but the thing is like, I do believe if your head is in the right place, you can make something like Dragon Ball Fighters for like different IPs. You really just need the right kind of people that care about both the source material and the gameplay to matter. Say what you will about Fighters, it at least, is a fighting game compared to All-Star Battle at least.
Yeah, that's like more games should strive to be like fighters. Like not specifically in that style of gameplay, but if you're going to make a licensed game, then you can put all the cute references and fan service in, and also make it fun.
Make it a game that people will play at tournaments.
Yeah,